Hi, you're live on air with Insurance Claims Radio. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. Just so you know, we've got public adjuster in the house, James D'Angelo. 35 plus years experience in contracting and public adjusting. His phone number is 303 885 3731. That's 303 885 3731. And then we got Ryan from Blue Ribbon Contracting here. He services all of Colorado as well. He does commercial and residential. James, let's go back to the first guy, specializes in commercial. Ryan's phone number from Blue Ribbon Contracting, 720-975-4253. That's 720-975-4253. And I'm your host, Phil Coutu, the owner of RooftopRoofing.com. I also own Power Adjusters and Power Appraisers. And I basically do the same things as my friendly competitors here, and we're here to talk about insurance. That's why it's called Insurance Claims Radio. We're going to open up and continue on from our last show. We were talking pretty much about insurance policies. We're into a commercial insurance policy right now, which we got into, and the coverages are really limited. They've got 2% of the amount cap for exterior damages, and we're talking about how much money people don't realize they could be losing if they get hit by hail. We're going to jump into the second portion of that policy. It talks about a non-structural hail loss to the roofing system. So I'm going to read this out for our viewers. We do not provide coverage for dents, scratches, impressions, indentations, marks, nicks, or granular loss to the roofing system of the building caused by hail unless the hail compromises the structural integrity of the roofing system and results in, quotations, immediate roofing system failure. Endorsement definitions. For the purposes of this endorsement, a roofing system is defined as the exterior surface and its supporting structures on top of the building. The roofing system also includes the following: chimney flashings and flue liners, roof vents, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning units, fascia, eaves, gutters, gutter screens, and downspouts. For the purpose of this endorsement, immediate roofing system failure is defined as an immediate reduction in the roofing system's water shedding capability due to the peril of hail that allows water to enter the interior of the building or the other structure through an opening in the roofing system. So guys, have you guys seen that endorsement before?
No, that's some very narrow language.
Very narrow. No, I haven't seen that.
So how is that going to affect, it? You know, and I do this, everybody out there. So these are our guests on show, and I want to hear how they think it's going to affect your claims handling ability as this language is popping up more and more.
I think the homeowner has to be really, really careful, or the business owner, on that portion, because you might have hail damage, but it's not going to leak today. It might take 2, 3, 4 months. You talk about granular disbursement and what's going on there and how that's moving. So now you've exposed the matting. That matting's exposed. And let's say we all know Colorado Springs got hit 3 times, right, with baseball-sized hail. In fact, we had delivered a roofing system to a customer, and it got hailed on. And the vents got hit, and the vents were damaged. We can't put those vents back on the roof. We have to go back to the supplier. The supplier's got to put them back. But most homeowners, they're going to look at it and go, we got hit with hail. It's not leaking today. The adjuster came out. They gave us this information. The contractor comes in, looks at it, and they say, well, we're not going to replace it unless it's a full system failure, which means what? Water has to be entering the envelope to do it. So in 3 months, if the water's entering the envelope, the adjuster's already been there. Is it covered or not covered?
Well, that's an interesting question. Let's read that endorsement. For purposes of this endorsement, immediate roofing system failure is defined as an immediate reduction in the roofing system's water shedding capability due to the peril of hail that allows water to enter the interior of the building or the other structure through an opening in the roofing system. So let's look at this language. Immediate roofing system failure, but it defines it as a reduction in the roofing system's water shedding capability. So you got some contradictory language in here. So we're going to get to this topic right after the break. Do you have a commercial hail claim, troubled hail claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs, engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters. We get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, all the experts, experience, and stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Call or text Rooftop Restoration at 720-296-3492. Call or text at 720-296-3492. That's 720-296-3492. And check us out at rooftoprestoration.com. So this is something that I specialize in, so everyone's out there. I consult and I advise to many attorneys. We will take a look at this, and I'm looking at this, and this could be written much better from the insurance industry standpoint if they're really going to limit this coverage. They think they've accomplished that. However, I'm reading this and the reduction of roofing systems' water shedding capability. Well, that happens on sometimes the lightest hail, so that's very interesting. This is why you want to have experts like Ryan and myself here. And because we can often challenge these. There's some insurance laws out there that talk about when a policy is ambiguous. And when it's ambiguous, the benefit goes to the policyholder. But then it goes on to say water shedding capability due to the peril of hail that allows water to enter the interior of the building or other structures through an opening in the roof. So that's interesting. What happens, like Ryan was just talking about the laws of manifestation. Often we get roofs hit by hail because of sunlight, weathering, freeze thaw. There's nothing worse to some flat roofing membranes. They get a direct strike from hail. They have impacts to the underside of the membrane. But water, little bits of water's infiltrating. We get a lot of freeze thaw cycles in Colorado, a lot more than other parts of the country. Because other parts of the country are just frozen for 4 to 6 months. Minus a few days or a handful of days through the winter. And you got the sun hitting that. So when does the system immediate failure happen? We have the damage. Now what, it starts leaking 4 months later everywhere? I mean, it's really conflicting language. There's all these new languages that are coming in from the insurance industry. They're limiting the coverage to you people out there, the policyholder. And we really, really got to take a look at this. You really need to look at your policies. You're getting a small discount here, but you could be limiting your coverage in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and on larger policies, millions of dollars that you think you have coverage for because you save $500 or $6,000 on the year on a bigger policy. And so, you guys, what do you think about that phrase, immediate system failure? And then they contradict themselves by talking about the roofing system and water shedding capability.
Well, I think there's a couple things here, Phil, that you got to take into consideration. You mentioned that the vagueness, the insured should get the benefit of any vagueness in the policy, which basically is what the law states.
Yeah, but do you guys think the insurance companies
let's go back 20 years. Yeah? Let's go back 20 years here. There was always, 20 years ago, there was a good faith effort on the carrier to find the broadest coverage of that policy to help the insured. You're seeing that terrain change today. You're seeing it to where they're trying to narrow it and basically exclude for folks. So when you say immediate damage, and you're right, that statement does contradict itself, but when you say immediately, it almost makes it sound like it immediately needs to be leaking. And I don't believe that's what it says. I think you could argue it, and that's where you thread the needle. That's where you put your strategy together to demonstrate that it is damaged, and it is structurally damaged. Well, all three of us know, you remove the granules from a roof, it's structurally damaged. The manufacturer will support that, your engineer will support that, and most engineers that work for carriers will support that.
Yeah, but when the carrier tells them that, look at this phrase here, we're not going to pay for granular loss. So what do you think the engineer is going to follow if they're working for the insurance company and being paid by the insurance company?
We both know the answer to that. But the truth of the matter is you just got to ask the question. And the question is, the hard question is, and you got to keep coming back to it, if you remove the granules, is it structurally damaged?
What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You only have the matting.
Okay, now give me your opinion why you think removing the granules creates structural damage.
Because the manufacturer states it. Those granules are there for a purpose, and they're to protect the matting below it, the components below it, from the UV sunlight and the freezing and thawing that you mentioned earlier in one of your previous shows.
How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with James. I mean, that's exactly how I would look at it, the same way.
So what's this going to do to you as a contractor, Ryan, when they say there's no coverage, though, for granular loss?
I mean, it's going to cause a lot of problems for the homeowner for us to bring it back to pre-loss, but I think you're going to have to thread the needle right there. Hey, you know what? The granulars came off. If you can't walk on the roof and you're sliding around, and we've all been on a roof where it got hit. I mean, let's talk about Colorado Springs. They got hit how many times? 3 times this year?
Multiple, yeah.
Multiple. And you get up there, you have granular loss. The matting's been hit. The matting's been punctured, right? And you have leaking that's going in. Now, the only reason it doesn't leak right away, I think we can all agree on, is because either you have felt or synthetic or something protecting you from the OSB. But once it's damaged, at some point that's going to fail. And the argument back to the insurance company is the system has failed with a granular disbursement or the loss, whatever you want to call it. It's not going to protect the roof and the...
It's structurally damaged.
It's structurally damaged, and it won't protect the roof the way it was supposed to. And the way it was intended to, and by what the manufacturer states.
So here's our big problem with this, though. This sets up a conflict because the insurance company is going to come out and say there's no coverage on this roof. When it's shingles. We're talking about shingle roofs right now. So you got a residential or commercial roof, says there's no granular loss. Now, do you think the insurance industry is going to train the adjuster to understand just granular loss? But how do you have granular loss and not have any damage to the asphalt mat? That the granulars, you know, it's warm when they put the granulars on, warm or cold, it's liquid, depending on the manufacturer. Those granulars have to be dislodged by impact. So if we're to, I actually have a $300,000 lab I set up for this that roofing.com owns. How, when we put this under the microscope, and this is something for us to do this winter now, how are you going to say there is no damage? The aggregate it got loosened a little, but how are you going to determine the damage to the aggregate? It's really fascinating to me.
Well, the fact is, it is damaged. Okay, the membrane's damaged. You know it. You can prove it. You can put it under that microscope. You can see the spiders in it. You can see the fractures in it. And then it's a matter of time where Mother Nature will just break it down.
So let's bring this back. We're here with Insurance Claims Radio. We're talking about the limitations and policies. What I'd like to say is call myself or one of the two people on the panel. I actually love these type of claims because I love to point out the errors of some of these policies that are written and challenge them. Now, so if you ever have an insurance claim, for me, I specialize in commercial. If you have a insurance claim where they're denying this type of coverage for granular loss, they're saying dents aren't covered to the hail, this is where you need someone like us to take a look at. So you're live with your host, Phil Coutu. We're at rooftoproofing.com. 720-296-3492. We got James D'Angelo, public adjuster, 303-885-3731. And we also have Blue Ribbon Contracting, Ryan here at 720-975-4253. Some of us often do work together on this stuff when it's complex and challenging. And what we often will do is we'll offer, if we believe in the claim, we'll do a free analysis for you. Come out, look at these types of things. I have several churches right now. I got one church where we had baseball hail last year. Actually, me and James are working on this together. We had one church, and the church is smashed. It's all metal roofing. There is some flat roofing, and they paid $0. So we wrote our estimate. You don't always get everything you ask for, even when the fight goes on, because there's so many differences of opinions. But we're at $950,000 approximately. The insurance company, once we litigated this claim, have now rolled over and said they're going to pay the whole claim. Now we're going to be arguing on the price. Can you fix this roof properly for $600,000, or is it really $950,000? Because there's many different ways to fix roofs, especially when you have gymnasiums, children below, laminate insulation on a metal roof. It's putting, fibrous particles into the air. So that's how the big discrepancies happen on cost. We're going to say we're going to fix that building. We're going to clean that air. We're going to put up vapor barriers to protect unclean air from getting to the clean air. We're going to do everything we can. And so that's the difference of opinions. But the fascinating thing is that particular insurance company, we'd love to name on there, but we really can't afford the liability. But we fought that claim, and literally they rolled over within 6 months, and they had this cosmetic exclusion. But how valuable is that to you people out there? Even though they had opinions from 4 different roofers, we're able to get that roof totaled. Now we're just dealing with the price. That job will probably be being roofed by late spring or next summer. It should be settled up here in the next 2 to 5 months as the wheels turn. And in that particular case, James, we fronted everything, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We brought in all the experts. We paid for it. We put a strategy together. In fact, the church had even questioned our ability to do it because they had more than one person before us. In fact, one of my competitors was out there before me, and one of your competitors, Phil, was out there before us. And after we sat down with them, we have demonstrated that we're going to get this claim paid for them.
Yeah, so the fantastic on that claim is they had 0. We know we're headed to at least 750,000 plus, and it's fantastic for this particular church in Colorado Springs because they would have been paying out of pocket. They got hit by baseball hail, people. So you've got these policies, and you've got people. Even though they say that damage is excluded from DINS, we took it to the next level of testing and are saying, yes, it did compromise the water shedding ability. So we are live on Insurance Claims Radio talking about cosmetic exclusions in the policy. I'm Phil Coutu with RooftopRoofing.com, 720-296-3492. I'm here with James D'Angelo. Do you have a commercial hail claim, troubled hail claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs, engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters. We get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, all the experts, experience, and stellar reputation with 0 out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Call or text Rooftop Restoration at 720-296-3492. Call or text at 720-296-3492. That's 720-296-3492. And check us out at rooftoprestoration.com. A public adjuster and Ryan from Blue Ribbon Contracting, and we'll be back. Hi, we are back with Insurance Claims Radio. I'm your host, Phil Coutu with RooftopRoofing.com. You can reach me or text me at 720-296-3492. I've got Ryan from Blue Ribbon Contracting in the house. He can be reached at 720-975-4253. He does residential and commercial roofing across the great state of Colorado. I'm here with another friend, James D'Angelo, a public adjuster with over 35 years experience. James can be reached at 303-885-3731. We're going to pick it up where we left off. We're talking about cosmetic damages. We want to let our people know if your insurance company comes back and they say you don't have any coverage, we denied your claim, we're going to just do repairs. Those are all red flags. Oh, we need to get an engineer in here. Well, hold on. You're an insurance adjuster handling these roofs every day, and you need an insurance or an engineer to tell you if it's damaged or not. What do you guys think about that? What's your first thing? Tell me this. When the adjuster says, oh, we got to get an engineer out here, and he's a 20-year adjuster.
Well, that already tells you the picture, okay? But more important than that, Phil, there's another thing that they do, and you know this as well as I do. They don't say we're going to deny your claim. You know, what they do is they say you have limited coverage, when in fact, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Until you dig into the detail, and the devil is in the detail, to find out just like that last example you had given of the church in Colorado Springs. That one particular case, they paid them absolutely nothing. They said you have no coverage. But I see more claims where they say, oh, you have limited coverage. They may come around and say you have $30,000 in damages, and I'm sure Ryan's seen this many times, where they say there's $30,000 in damages. Then when Ryan actually goes out there, it's actually $300,000 in damages, not 30. And that's where Phil, you've been very successful with those.
Well, James, let's talk about a claim we handled together. It took 2.5 years, and it was actually with a higher-end prominent insurance company. Reason we can't name it on air is we ended up having a confidential settlement where neither side could talk, which we're okay with because we were successful in the claim. The claim originally started out with $5,000 damage for the roof, and altogether I think we got paid around $280,000. And then we got it bumped up to $359,000. We're at a lock for over a year, locked heads with the insurance company.
They added another $5,000 after a year.
Right. So I think we're at approximately $360,000, and we're locked for a year. They braided in all the bigwigs, the attorneys. Now I'm a public adjuster and I'm also a roofer. In this specific case, I took a special contract that gives me pretty much ownership of a claimant and limited power, which my actual client looked at trying to break with an attorney on me, which I was in shock at, but that's because they're getting bad advice from an attorney. So I want you to know that the people sitting on this panel, I've been doing this well over 35 years myself. I'm only, actually 34 years. I'm 47 years old, and I've been involved in the roofing industry since 13 years, and the adjusting industry over several decades. I actually owned an insurance adjusting company and our catastrophe company running adjusters, and worked for some prominent insurers. And what we had going on was the insurance company trying to drive a wedge between us, who's representing them, and the attorneys who didn't understand, thinking, well, this guy's crazy because we had a $1.9 million estimate, and they're stuck at $360,000. And, you really should have, even as a public adjuster, attorneys advising you, but I've done this a long time. And the insurance industry was trying to rack our hours up through the roof. So I ended up handling it myself, their attorneys, on both sides. I was sandwiched by attorneys. And James was even like, are we going to be able to win this one? I said, yes, we are. I said, we're going to be a zero right now, and then we're going to be a hero. And make a long story short, we ended up doing a confidential settlement, so we can't name the insurer, of $1.6 million. And the day we did that settlement, one of the attorneys said, oh, you're lucky if you get $600,000 or $700,000. Now, let me just say that the condo board very much liked us after that because they wouldn't have to assess the unit owners. We saved them over $1 million of assessments. And so it's hard, though, because you're going to get all kinds of conflicting advice. What I can say to our policyholders out there, check your contractors, your public adjusters' CVs, or a shorter form that's kind of a type of resume. You want to look at that experience, how long they've been in the game, what kind of battles they have. Listen to them. When you have multi-million-dollar claims on the line, you want people that are not just been around for a long time, because there's a lot of guys been around. We've worked for a few of them, right, James? Some of them are presidents of some pretty important associations out there, but I wouldn't hire them personally because I know their work product or have worked with them. James?
Phil, the other thing I want to mention to your listeners, not only, speaking of that one claim you just gave, that one example, they need to be in for the long haul. That claim took us over 2.5 years to settle. Now, we had to go back out there, or your company had to go back out there and temporarily repair the roof several times, and which you did, timely, and everybody was satisfied. But if you're not in for the long haul, chances are the carrier will understand that, and you won't settle at the correct number.
What a great point, guys. How many times, with your experience, you're a solid contractor, Ryan, you're a great public adjuster, James. I do the same type of stuff on all sides. And the carrier's trying to drive a wedge, and your people are like, yeah, we're in a year. What's going on? And they've been slow rolling the claim. Why do you guys? Let's explain to the public out there why that's going on.
Well, time it actually works in the carrier's favor at first, and then it works in your favor later if you get over that hump. Okay, if you get over the top of the bell curve, for lack of a better way of saying it. So the carrier knows you want to get moving along with your project. The carrier knows you want your property fixed back. So let's just use hypothetically. Let's say it was $300,000, and you're stuck there for a year, they come up another $5,000. If they came along and offered another $150,000 to that insured, chances are they'd take it and run. But the fact of the matter is their damages were 5 times that amount of money. It was over $1.6 million. But you've got to understand and you've got to educate. The consumer, the insured, needs to be aware that at some point, once they're over the top of the bell curve, it works in their benefit, that timeline, provided that they're mitigating further damage to the building.
Right. So what James is saying is that if you have the real experience on your side and guys that really know what they're doing, patience is a virtue. You got to go. Like even that claim I had with you, James, that went 2.5, 3 years, you were even questioning me.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And I was like, James, can you get closer, Mike? Great.
Sure.
I just kept saying, James, you got to hang on. This is part of the strategy to lessen this claim.
We have another one. You and I have one that's 4 years old right now. It's an appraisal. In fact, you should speak a little bit about your appraisal experience.
Well, I've been doing appraisals for about 15 years. I've done over about, I have to add them up, but 250 plus, maybe 260. Appraisal, it seems simple, but there's some serious moving parts. And it's a dispute mechanism in the policy when neither side can settle. Instead of litigating, you can opt to go to appraisal. And it's a fantastic mechanism. It's been around for hundreds of years. And we specialize it here at rooftoproofing.com. Power appraisers, power adjusters. We do scoping. We also own insurance claims school. So you got a panel here with a lot of experience. And we will use whatever avenue best suits the policyholder, which is you, the public. And we are live right now. We're going to be coming back after a break. We'll be wrapping into our next show, I think. You are live with Insurance Claim Radio. We've got James D'Angelo sitting online, a very successful public adjuster, very experienced. We got Blue Ribbon Contracting, another highly experienced contractor. James, the public judge, can be reached at 303-885-3731. Ryan's available at 720-975-4253. And I'm Phil Coutu with rooftoproofing.com. And I am available by call or text 720-296-3492.